Hi friends, welcome back. This is Solomon Jagwe, and today we're going to be working through a tutorial that has been much requested from all the comments that I've been receiving on my YouTube channel. And today we're going to be bringing in mockup file, I'm going to be showing you how to bring in the ActorCore motion capture data into Daz Studio. So this is a walkthrough from beginning to end. So if you're new to my YouTube channel, I ask you that you spare a minute to kindly subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're alerted when I post a new video. And to everybody else who has subscribed, I thank you so much for your support. It helps a lot when you click like and share the video. So let's get started. So this is a scene that I've set up already, and I'm using the filament render. That's why it looks so nice, and the feedback is really good. So this is the scene that we're going to be working with to bring the ActorCore. So this is the ActorCore. It's tabbed as the world's best human mockup motion platform, and it's actually true. I mean, there is a really the data is really good, very stable. Hardly requires any cleanup at all because it's recorded from a camera-based system. And so this is a pack that we're going to be working with. It's called Spunky Moves, and this was I think there was a promotion going on where it was given to people who signed up for the first time. I think it was worth $200 worth of points. So I already have this one, and you can see the check mark everywhere. That shows that it indicates that the motion capture files are in my library, my smart library in iClone as well. So I can use them in iClone as well as Character Creator 3. Okay, so the file that we want to work with is, let me see if I can find it down here. It's the you walk and then the guy sits. Okay, so maybe I think it's walk to sit this guy right here. And let's magnify, not magnify, but zoom in. Okay, so that's the character. He's gonna walk and then sit. And we can also switch to like this right here, this like nanosuit looking character. So we get a better idea. And we can also track, let's see, no, reset. Okay, so we can see it properly. All right, so that's the file we're going to be working with today. So let's get started. So the first step is to load a default Genesis 8 character. So you could use a Genesis female character or a male character. And so I'm going to save this scene so we don't have to go through the process. And so we'll go to Content Library. We're going to start with a new scene, brand new. Okay. And let's make sure we're in smooth mode to make it move a little faster. Double click on the basic male. And it's going to come in without any clothing. So we're going to give him a little, maybe a shirt and a short. So we'll go to Genesis male, clothing, and then the basic wear. And let's give him this basic outfit too. Double click on it. Okay, so there he is. And we need to put him in a T pose. Okay, so that T pose comes from there's a complementary file that iClone provides when you buy iClone, and also when you are doing the Genesis template. So the way you find it, you go to your users tab, public, under documents, reallusion template, character creator 3 template, Daz resource, and then the T-pose. And then we're going to use the Genesis 8 T-pose. Drag and drop it here. And so we have a T-pose now. And we're going to save this one. Make sure you always save this so you don't have to keep redoing it. We'll call it basic T-pose. And this is the file that you're going to be using for all your mockup file from the ActorCore. So you do it one time and then you just repurpose it after that. All right. And then we're going to export this as an FBX file. So file, export. And we're going to put it in find a folder that's easy for you to find. And we're going to put it in here. We'll call it basic with a T pause. I always add a 00 in case I need to do another variation. Click Save. Make sure Figures and Props is selected. Collect textures, and for this one is just really basic. The most important thing is the skeletal structure that we need to put the mockup data on, and then we'll be able to bring back that. So make sure you add, check morphs. Just try to copy the settings as, and I'm using the FBX 2011. Okay, click Accept. It doesn't take very long. Just barely a minute. Okay, so we're done with that. So this scene, we don't actually need it anymore. We can now bring up our scene, bring up your character, the scene that you have, for example, that you've made that has your character in it. Let me load this real quick. I'm gonna let it stay so you can see how long it takes. So this is the scene that I've put together, and I'm encouraging you to also follow along, create a scene so that you see how it works. And so this is not, we don't export this model. We're going to use the basic one in 3DXChange. But in order to prepare this, we're going to also put this in a T-pose. So we go back to that T-pose folder, drag and drop the Genesis Mail T-pose. Okay, and then let's save this one as well. Save, and we'll just call this TechSuit 2, because I already have a scene in there. Save. Okay. So this is now it's in if we switch to filament and we select this and zoom in, so you can see this the suit's ready, and actually the hands are prepared properly, paused properly for the mockup data to be able to apply it properly in 3DXChange. All right, so this scene is ready, but we need to do one more thing before we bring in the mockup data, and that is to go up here, select expand all on this tab, so on the scene tab, and then click on scar, or write the name of your character. Scroll all the way down. This is the bond structure. Hold down the shift key, and that selects all the bonds in the scene. Okay, and you wanna click on this icon, the pause icon, and here's something. So if I had done, for example, if I'd gone here and said select all, you notice that rig icon doesn't come up. So it's important to select only the bonds of the character. Don't use the select all. So that's why you have to click this character structure up at the top, the name, scroll all the way down, and you don't want to select all of these other things. Then at the last bond, shift click, so that selects all the bonds in here, and then this will show up, the pause, and then click on pause, and then you want to turn off all the limits. So limits off rotation. That is very, very important. Otherwise, the mockup is going to look wonky and the character will be flapping in the air and only the hips will be shifting. So you want the translation to be imported properly, and that's why this step is very, very important. So once I've done that, now I can save this file in case there's a crash or anything. So we'll call this TechSuit with a T pause and rotation off. It's kind of tedious to do this, but it's important because if you don't, you can lose track of your files. This is a good way to keep track of what you've changed, and so you know which file to reload in case the program crashes or your computer does something crazy. All right, so that's the one we need. Save. Okay, so now this scene is ready for us to bring in the mockup file. Now we can go to 3DXChange, bring up 3DXChange, and I'm using the pipeline version, because if you don't have the pipeline version, you won't be able to export files out of this. Okay, I'll create a new file, and we're gonna bring in that basic character that we created. So it's gonna be basic with the T pause. Remember? So just that's why it's important to name your files specifically, so it's easier for you to find which file. Okay, and you know, find the folder where you saved it, a folder that's easy to remember. All right. We're gonna leave everything. We really are not importing animation, so we can deselect that and click OK. And this is gonna go through. It has an automated system in here that detects if you have a Genesis 8 figure. So it detected it and it says does for Genesis 8 character. Click yes, and then it's gonna go through and detect the texture mapping. Again, these things are important if you're sending a full character that's rigged with clothing and everything, and then you're sending it to iClone. But for now, we're really just concerned about bringing the mockup file into Daz Studio. Click yes. So our dude is ready to be used. So he's going to be the stand-in. So even the for female characters, this file, because it's really the skeleton structure that you'll be exporting as a BVH data, uh, this is all you need really. So it's next step is convert to non-standard. So if you don't see it here, make sure that you scroll and you find convert to non-standard. Click one time. This is going to be an automated process as well because it's a Daz character, and it goes through and applies all that. Okay, so to test it, I'm going to click preview here. And actually, let me switch to, because I want to make sure the fingers are also calibrated. So let's preview the fingers, and you can see the fingers are being rigged properly. The neck is working properly. And I've clicked here to replay, like loop the animation. So when I click preview, I can rotate around while it's playing back. Okay, and then when I'm ready, I press stop, and I can go back and say, let's test other like the lower calibration preview, and that one shows you that the skeletal structure has been rigged properly. Okay, so I'm happy with this. Now I know that whatever I do, whatever mockup data I bring in here is gonna be clean and rigged properly. So click stop, and we'll go back to T pause, and then press convert. Okay, so now the character is ready to receive mockup data, including the one from ActorCore. And you can save this avatar in iClone as well so that you can reuse it. So for example, if I were in I might make sure iClone is open, and this is also the pipeline version. And then go back to 3DXChange, and I can send this apply to iClone. And then you can save it as an avatar so that you reuse it. So if you need to refine the mockup data, this is what you need to use. Okay, so it's going to be imported into iClone, and there's the dude. And actually, I can go down here and with walk to sit, moved walk to sit. This is the one that we're looking at. And if we play it back, and let me collapse this a little bit. Let's move it over here so we got some good distance. Press play. It's walking, jump, sit. There you go. So that's another quick way of us to preview the animation and see how all the data is performing. So this is really clean. Doesn't require any cleanup. The feet are stable. Awesome. Yeah. So that's the power of the ActorCore mockup files. Is that they have been cleaned. It's an optical resource that they use to create all this mockup data. And so if we go back to Daz Studio, now we need to bring in that mockup file that we saw. This is the preview. Okay. And the mockup file, if you go to your smart gallery, once you install it from the ActorCore and you click download over here and you choose iClone, it's going to tell you that this is going into the smart gallery. So you need to use the smart gallery. So you go to your smart gallery in iClone over here. So if I go back one level and I go to all of them. So you just click on animation over here, go to motion, and then find the pack, like So if I expand this a little bit, you see all the other packs that I have. Double click on Spunky Moves, and this is the file. So find the one that you want to use. For today, as a case study, we're trying to use this one. So in order for you to use it in 3DXChange, you need to know the path. So right click on this and click Find File. And to find it here, so click on at the top here, right click, copy the path of this mockup file, and then go to 3DXChange, and up at the top on the animation tab here, click import, and then up at the top, Control V, you paste the path, and then open, and there you find move to work or any other mockup file. So whichever one that you download, you can always find it here. So like for example, if there was another one here and I want to find it, just right click on it, right click, and then find the file. And that will bring up the path, copy the path, and then you go to 3DXChange over here, paste it, and then load the file that you want. So click open. So this is the file. So it's not yet ready. Just because it's here doesn't mean it's going to be, because if you export it, if you try to export the BVH file, you see it's actually not active right now. And again, remember you need the 3DXChange, the pipeline edition. Okay. And then, so in order for you to have this file, and you can click on it to preview it, and it's working properly, you need to add it to the perform folder here. Add to perform. So which shows that you can actually have multiple files in here. Okay. So he'll walk, just pop up a little bit and then sit down, boom. Okay. So the file is now ready for us to send to Daz Studio. So you see the BVH file is activated. So now we can click BVH. This is important here. Please, 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 whatever you do, make sure you click here and select the hip, okay? Because without it, it's just gonna, again, wallow in space. It's important for you to use the hip. And everything else can stay the same. For Daz Studio, these are the settings that you need to use. And then you can browse to where you want to save it, create a folder, and then make sure that you know where that link is. And that's because you need to import from that one. So we're going to call this, this is the guy we use, but we want to use the tech guy. So we just call it maybe tech suit. Again, for just being organized, tech suit mockup. Okay. And click OK. And it's really quick. The process is really quick. So that mockup file is saved. And now I can go to Daz Studio over here and go to File, Import. Make sure the character is actually selected in case you have multiple characters in the scene. And for now, let me actually switch to smooth shaded for, again, faster interaction. And then we'll go to File, Import. I feel like I need water. This is a lot of talking, but it's important for me to show you the process. My tongue is actually dry. I should have had like something here to drink. All right, let's select the mockup file. This is the one we named Tech Suite Mockup. That's why it's important to name the files for better organization, easier to make it easier for you to find the files. Click Open, and adjust scene to match file. So don't select anything else. Just make sure you leave the first top part. Just use the setting as you see them now. Click Accept. And depending on how fast your machine is, it might take a little bit of time or it will take a long time. But guess what, guys? So success. We've brought in the mockup file inside of Daz Studio from ActorCore, right? So from ActorCore, and we didn't even have to go to iClone to edit anything yet because the mockup file data is clean, but we needed to go to iClone so that we could find the file, the mockup file. It's easier for you to find it here. All right. So in Daz Studio, let's play back. We'll bring back our timeline and play back. And there's our dude. Pop up. Done. So guys, that's a quick, well, it's not so quick, but that's the tutorial on how you bring the ActorCore Mockup data from the ActorCore Mockup platform into Daz Studio. And let me switch to uh, filament real quick and let it filter. And now we can play it back. There we go. Pop up, jump, sit, and then pause. Isn't that cool, guys? So I hope this was helpful. And so this works for any all the files that you see here in any library that you might get. That is the path that you need to use. And so there's another method that I use that's a little bit more advanced. So I'll probably do another tutorial for that. But it uses the Mixamo rig to bring the mockup data in here. So now the cool thing is that this mockup file, the way I was able to bring in the mockup data in here, you can edit it as well and then resend it back to apply it to 3DXChange, right? And then resend it out as a BVH. So I hope this first tutorial was helpful. And that's a cool way to bring your mockup data from the ActorCore platform and then bring it into Daz Studio and then do the rendering. Let's do a quick switch to NVIDIA Array so we see how beautiful it looks. So I'll give it a few seconds to load. And now you can see the quality of the mockup using the NVIDIA Array in here. And I can actually, let's rotate around it a little bit so we can see it from different angles. That is cool. So guys, I hope this was really helpful. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're alerted when I post a new video. And again, I encourage you to continue to dream big. Let's harness the technology that's available to us now so we can continue to tell our stories. And I'll continue to share more tutorials as I make progress. But this is important for us to know how to bring mockup data into Daz Studio. And it's really helpful when you're like a indie film maker and storyteller to take advantage of Daz Studio to tell your stories. That's where you start. And then as you get more funding and you can afford a whole team that you can pay to do all the animations and actors and everything, then you can invest in something bigger and better. But for now, you can start with the mockup file in the ActorCore and also Mixamo. But for this tutorial, it was mainly to do with the ActorCore platform and how you're able to bring all this beautiful mockup data into Daz Studio and then use into 3DXChange and then into Daz Studio. So thank you so much, guys, and see you next time with another tutorial. Much love and happy holidays to you all. Bye for now.